Hey, what's going on Fun Nine fans? It's your boy Music Nerd, and this is my reaction to the college football week 3, and NFL week 2. Obviously, we're going to be talking a lot about Tua and what happened, but first off, we're going to start off with the positive, and that is the Hurricanes. We're going to start off with them moving to 3-0 and pretty dominating and pretty slick fashion. Miami goes 3-0 in the season with a 62 to nothing drubbing, basically doing what they were supposed to do against Ball State. And it was weather delayed. I was actually in Miami. I'm right down the street. Celebrating a birthday for my father, and I was with my family. I had a chance to go to the game, but I decided to kind of chill out with my family and watch it. So it was just kind of nerve wracking. Like me and my mom were trying to watch the game, and like literally we're like waiting for hours to watch it. But when we finally got to watch it, what I was impressed with was the ability for Miami to execute. One thing I did not like how we did not run the ball very well to begin. I think Mark Fletcher did a good job of running when he got in, hitting the holes. Dave Martinez, kind of him with his style, kind of waiting and kind of waiting to pick. I think that didn't really fit the game that they were playing against Ball State. Ball State kind of attacked him before he got to attack. Now that I'm not saying Mark Fletcher is better than Dave Martinez, I just think that's something that you need to kind of look at and shore up when you go into a game against USF. But one thing I was impressed with the ability to kind of change tactics, and Miami just gets the job done. It was very workmanlike. The defense played exceptional. The offense was lights out. The offensive line played very well. For me, I was impressed, but this thing is about this is what Miami's supposed to do. You play an overmatched opponent, you got to treat them like they're an overmatched opponent. The penalties are still a bit too much; they still need to be cleaned up. But that's a good thing about having things to do when you have a win like that. There's still ways that you can improve. So the running game needed to improve, even though Miami ended up being able to run for over 200 yards. There's still improvement that needed to be had. I still liked how they use all the running backs. I like how they use a bunch of quarterbacks. I love how much play everybody was getting, because that's the whole point about a game like that. You need to make sure everyone gets in. And so the whole point is just to stay hot. Previewing this week against USF, I do agree with Mario Cristobal. Basically, in the way the team is, I think Florida is a more talented team than USF, but I think USF is a better team overall than Florida. So yes, this will be the best team that Miami has played thus far. So then, if Miami is not as workmanlike as they were against Ball State, as prepared as where they have, then they will run into some issues just like Alabama did. But one thing I've been impressed with so far this season, Miami's been prepared for every game. And the whole point, the whole goal, and you can see it, is to go 1-0 every week. It's not to go 12-0. It's to go 1-0. It's to beat Florida as if it's one game season, beat Florida A&M as if one game season, then beat Ball State as if one game season. If Miami brings that approach to this USF game, I see Miami being able to win it. I see there'll be some issues. The quarterback is very mobile. They had some issues with Daniel Richardson when they played FAMU, him getting outside the pocket. But if Miami is able to be disciplined and get that rush in, we'll have some success. Now, Ruben Bain is not going to play, from what I understand, but we'll be getting Jalen Rivers and Inez Cooper back for our offensive line. So that I'm really excited about. The offensive line continues to dominate. I think Miami will be good. I see Miami winning this one about maybe 42-17, 42-20. If Miami's able to stay, I think Miami will just kind of go away from them in the second half. That's where the talent goes, and that's where the workmanlike stuff goes in. I think this will be the longest Cam Ward has played. He'll probably play into the fourth quarter in this game. But if Miami is able to take care of business, then maybe not. But I am excited about where we're going. Hopefully they can keep going, and then we'll get into the real meat of the schedule with the ACC schedule coming up. So that's Miami 3-0 so far, and Phil's predictions 2-1. All right, so let's get into the Dolphins. This is going to take up the most part of this video. So I was actually just getting in when the game started. Seal had already thrown his first interception, and I'm looking down, and my dad's like, the touch is gone, it's this and that. There's a lot of things going on. And you look at it, he's like, also the receiver's going to wear out. For me, that was the most important thing, getting that third receiver. So, but that being said, that's what I was going to talk about when, at the beginning of the game, but then Tua went and had his concussion. So now this becomes a whole different conversation. So for Miami fans who are asking, who don't want Tua to be the quarterback, well, you're going to get a sample size for these next 4 or 5 weeks in it. For me, I'm not of that camp. I think that this team is a lot better when Tua plays, and Tua plays well. There are things that we needed. We need a third wide receiver. That's why we go out and try to get someone like OBJ. But now we're gonna have to kind of wait and see until Tua is ready to come back, if he comes back. like what this team can be. But I'll tell you this team does not make the playoffs without Tua Tagovailoa as a quarterback. Now, Miami can do well these next 4 weeks because it's not that tough of a schedule at the moment. The toughest game will be this week in Seattle. That'll be probably the toughest game that Miami has. That being said, you still have to come out for them to be a chance for us to make the playoffs. Tua's going to have to come back week 8, and Miami's going to have to go 2-2 during their stretch. And so that's going to be difficult with backup quarterbacks. It's hard to win a game with your starting quarterback in this league. It's even that much harder to win with backup quarterbacks. I don't care what kind of talent you have, and we have great talent around. So running the ball has been an issue. The offensive line has been an issue. Achane has good running stats. He ran for almost 100 yards against the Bills, but it just didn't really matter the way the gameplay went. So the game could not have gone any worse against the Bills as far as I was concerned. I said that to my brothers. I said that to my dad. I mean, that was literally the worst thing that could have happened, getting to injured like that and getting destroyed like that. Because it gives the Bills a mental advantage over them again like this to have. Like, literally, the Bills are the only team that Tua's ever lost to inside this division. You know how crazy that is? You know how crazy of a stat is? Tua is undefeated against everyone else in this division when he's starting, except for the Bills. And it's now 6 losses against them. That's crazy. And, it's something that is going to have to be gotten over, but, we have no idea what's going to happen with him. And prayers out to Tua. He's a great leader. He's a great person. He's a great quarterback, and you can tell that the team rallies around him. You can tell that this team loves him. And that is one thing I am encouraged by. This team is together. They don't really care what anyone else thinks. They know that they have a good quarterback. They know that they have a good person in Tua, and they're going to do what's best for him. Mike McDaniel believes in him. Tyreek believes in him, and they believe in each other. And, at the end of the day, worst thing you want to say is next man up, but it will be next man up. And Skylar Thompson has to step up and get us a couple wins. And I do think Tyler Huntley is a good backup option. He did really well when Lamar Jackson went down for the Ravens a couple of years ago. Was able to get to the playoffs, get to the Pro Bowl as well. So, I mean, it's going to take him a while to get acclimated to his offense, but one thing I am encouraged by, Mike McDaniel knows how to make a good game plan for a quarterback. He has a whole week with Skylar Thompson. I think he'll have a good game plan for him. As long as we can execute, we're going to be able to compete. Now, I don't have us winning this game against Seattle because Seattle's a very good team. But I know they're going to compete because, that's how the Dolphins are. So we're going to see, and maybe they can squeeze one out. We'll hope so. We'll have reaction to it. Myself and Jim will have reaction to it right after the game on Sunday. So we'll see y'all then. So, for me, right now, so we got the Dolphins at 1-1, and you got my predictions at 1-1 as well. So moving on, reacting to the Gators and the Noles. The Gators disappointed me. They played against a backup quarterback in Texas A&M, and it was like they had never played a mobile quarterback before. At home, with the momentum really kind of by your side. I expect the Florida to show up better than that. So I think it's kind of a matter of time at the moment for Billy Napier. But I said at the beginning of the year, this schedule is just too tough. And Texas A&M, that's a talented team. But at the same time, I think you have to have a better game plan going forward. You have to have it looking forward about it. And just, I'll say this about them: they at least fought. They kept going. They kept fighting. For Napier, I think that's one of the reasons why he hasn't been fired yet. He probably still has a locker room. That is the rumor right now too, that he still has a locker room. So they're gonna go forward for him. But I mean, that is a discouraging loss in my opinion. Playing a backup freshman quarterback who only has one start against him into the swamp, which is a vaunted area. But now you've had 2 Power 5 teams come into your place and really embarrass you by double digits, and that's not a good look for someone who's basically coaching for their job. So when it comes to Napier. Now, when it comes to Florida State, I really don't know what to say. That's probably one of the most talented teams in the nation. Like I said, I still stand by the statement. They have the talent to come into Miami and beat us next month. So I don't want anybody kind of like getting over there. Oh, Florida State's not this, Florida State's not this. They're not a good team, but they have a lot of talent. And that was evident when they were trying to come back against Memphis. But I'm not gonna lie, they bored the hell out of me. And plus, I was tired, so I fell asleep during a lot of this game. I'm not even gonna lie to you. But the fact of the matter is like their offensive line play is not good. They can't pass the ball very well. They're not running the ball at all. So really, that's really the foundation for it. What DJ Ugly is very good at is play action passing. That's the best thing he is good at. But you don't have a running game, you're not going to get anything for that. So that's basically what it is. There's lack of confidence in him from Norvell. There's lack of confidence from DJ in Norvell. and there's like confidence in this team as well. So they're basically just individuals going out and playing. They're just not a team, and that's their main problem. So there's not much else to say about that. Like I said, they still have the talent. They still have time to get it together and become a bowl team right now, but they're gonna have a hard time playing against Cal this weekend. If you had told me that the records for the teams were going to be 0-3 and 3-0 going into the Cal game this weekend, I would have said, oh, so Florida State's 3-0 probably in the top five, and Cal is having a hard time right now because they played Auburn, they played a couple of teams. I had in none of my wildest dreams that I think Florida State was going to be 0-3 going into the meat of the ACC play, and so it would not surprise me if they won. It would not surprise me if they lost right now. I just don't know. But if they win, they're going to have to get it together, basically. So we'll have to see. So that's going to be my ending, my reaction. We'll have them up quicker for y'all next week, and then we will be doing our next pod at the beginning of October. We're going to be doing an NBA preview as well with that, and so talking about some of these Jimmy Butler trade things and everything like that. Just seeing what we can do, what we expect from the Heat this year. So thank y'all so much for listening. We're going to see y'all next time. All right, we out. Peace.